Hello. This is Crystal Cotton with Get Crystallized Agency, where we make marketing easier for you. So, welcome to another episode of Social Media Sunday. And what we're going to be talking about today is website versus landing page. Website versus landing page. And I get asked this question a lot, actually, from people who are trying to decide, especially as an entrepreneur, how you want to represent your business. So, what does that have to do with marketing and social media specifically? So, what it has to do with is that when you are out marketing your business and you're out building relationships, you need to kind of have your strategy defined in terms of what the path or what the journey is going to be for those customers as they enter into your world. And so sometimes you want to share information, and that's the most customary way that most people look to get access to your information. They say, oh, what's your website? Oh, let me check out your website, right? The only challenge with a website, unless you are a retailer or someone who is doing a lot of sales from your website, a lot of times what will happen is that it becomes kind of more like a digital flyer. So people go there, they look at your information, they see what you're all about, but then they don't really take an action to really take them from where they are to becoming your customer. Now, that's your responsibility, okay, is to help them on their journey to get to know more about you. Okay. So, and then I have to apologize in advance for the background noise because when I moved social media Saturday to Sunday, I did not understand the whole ramification with football season and athletics. And my sons are in the other room, even though I had requested they be quiet, it's virtually impossible. So you're going to hear some cheering. Hopefully, you won't hear any cussing, but you're going to hear some stuff in the background. So I apologize for that in advance. So what we want to do when we're looking at making a decision about whether or not you want to use a website or you want to use a landing page or both is back to that marketing strategy that we established in the very beginning. So if you haven't checked out that series on if you haven't checked out that series already on the marketing superhighway, please do. I'll put the link down underneath this video on YouTube because that will give you a really good foundation in terms of the things you want to consider when marketing your business, of which target market and target audience is one of those things, right? And just having that strategy. So that having been said, you could have both, and many people do. I have both. I have a website and I have landing pages. So what is the difference between the two? Let's talk about that. So the website is the purpose of the website is to give you those multiple pages. And some websites can be really, really detailed and can give a lot of information and can drive behavior, but it has to be designed that way. So if you're out and you just say, "Oh, I'm new in business, I need a website," what you want to do is make sure that you are working with someone who is helping you with that strategy, because your website has to be designed in a way that is customer centric to drive people to a certain behavior. So I'm going to show you a couple of websites here in a minute and just kind of walk through some do's and don'ts, maybe. I don't know what, and see how that can help you. Now, the landing page. A landing page, you're probably really familiar with landing pages, but you just didn't know what they were called. Because basically, the great thing about a landing page is a landing page drives behavior. It's designed to elicit a single behavior or single journey for a prospective customer at a single point in time. So, for example, I'll show you my website. So that there's a pop up. The pop up is designed to say, okay, someone's going to come to my website and I want them to send me information, submit a request for information. But if they don't, I don't want them to leave. So I have a pop up where I offer them something of value to say, hey, don't leave. What about this? And so but that's to drive a behavior to get a contact so that I can follow up with them, right? Other landing pages are things to, to promote sales. So if you have a product and all, or say, even if you, let's use an event as an example. That's a good example. So if you're having an event and you want to drive people to your event, then a landing page is good because you can put all the details about your event there on the landing page, and they can click and buy a ticket. They can click and get more information. You can direct their behavior. So what I'm going to do real quick is just show a couple um, of landing pages versus website. And actually, I'll just start with mine since that we don't have much time and it's simpler. We'll just start with mine, right? To show that I actually drink my own Kool-Aid. Got this sign up here that won't go away. Okay, so I do drink my own Kool-Aid. So let's do that. And then we'll pop off and you can take a look at some other websites and see kind of how those are how they measure up if they're landing pages or websites. So let me do this. Uh-oh. All right, let's go to the Googles. Okay, so let's go to. Okay, hopefully it does what it's supposed to do. Okay, so this is my current website. Now, the thing that you'll know, and I'll show you a landing page. Well, I have a good example of a landing page because the pop-up is an example of a landing page. So this is pretty your typical website. I built this myself using a tool, and it took me probably about like maybe a couple days to do this. But so what you'll notice is there's a home page. This is pretty typical. Home is kind of like that place where you want everybody to land when they get to your web page. About tells about, it's kind of like that about me page that you want to have. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Contact is contact information. I tried to keep everything centralized in one place, but the point is that, and products, the point is that with your web page, there's not really a driver to get people to have a behavior. So now, what you're looking at now, this is an example of what might be a landing page. So let me back up too, is that when you have a URL address, when you get a domain name, say you go to www.chocolatebar.com, that's your URL, which is your address on the internet. Okay, whether you put a website at your address on the internet or you put a landing page at your address on the internet, it doesn't matter. People are going to access your information based on that location that you give them, right? So regardless of whether you choose to do a website or a landing page, you can have them go to that same address. So, for example, if you're a new business owner, you may choose to start out by just kind of throwing up a quick landing page so that people are aware of your business. They know how to contact you. You can start to establish your visual identity. You can do all those things up front when you're, without spending a lot of money or investing a lot of money. And then at the same time, you can be working on your strategy and aligning that with a good website designer and graphic artist or whatever professionals you need to help you. And as you develop a full blown website. Now, I personally recommend if you are like a passion entrepreneur or you're just getting started, a lot of times, or at least what my experience was, is that I continue to evolve. And so if I had really kind of spent a lot of or invested a lot of money in a website at the very beginning of my business or my entrepreneurial life, then it would have had to be redone shortly after, because what I found is that I continue to evolve until you actually, it's kind of like until you actually get involved and get engaged with people, you really don't know. It's hard sometimes to know exactly what they're going to be looking for, or what is it about your product that's most appealing to them. And then as you kind of get into it and understand, what you need to do to deliver, and all those things start happening, then it kind of gels. You have a clearer picture of how your strategy matches up with your target audience and how to best communicate with them. So I highly recommend that if you don't have a website already, you start with something simple like a landing page, just so the communication is there and you have an established presence on the internet, and then continue to grow and develop your strategy as you go along. But anyway, so what you're looking at here would be an example of something you might have as a landing page. I would have it be a little snazzier than this, but this is something that I have as a pop-up when you navigate away from the site. It's an offer, and so I highly recommend that whether you have a landing page or a website, that you have some type of value that you provide to people who come to your site. And so if you have something of value, it can be a list of some sort. If you're an event planner, it could be a list of future events. If you're an artist, it could be a list of art shows, or maybe it's a list of tools that you need to do a particular type of art. There's tons of things that you can offer here. I'm in marketing, so I offer a social media cheat sheet, but just something that you can provide value to them where they don't mind sharing their information with you. So this is an example of that. Now I will show you an example of a legit landing page. Let me see if I could here. Let's see what this one does. Ta-da! Okay. This is not exactly. So this is the first page of a funnel. So it's before you get to the landing page. But this is something else you can do. This is probably an advanced topic, but what you can do also when people go to your URL, when they come to your house, via the internet, you could ask them a question or present to them an option on how you might solve a problem that they have. And so this is kind of, with the landing page, this is a way to gather information up front to say, hey, I think I can solve this problem for you. Give me a little information and I'll share with you what I got, right? Like, you give me yours, I'll show you mine. So this is a funnel that I set up also using my tool here. And it basically, the way it's set up is there's a headline that addresses something, the value that you can provide. And then there's a second level, a subheadline that is kind of like the opposite, to say, what is the objection that a person would have in dealing with your product? So here, if we say how to reach more people and show up professionally online without blowing your budget or wasting your time, they may say, well, you know what? I don't really have all the stuff I need to do that. And then so this works even if you're a new business, don't have a logo or website yet, and are on limited budget. So you kind of address their concern up front. And then if that's effective, then they give you that information. So I'm just going to go ahead and go through this form here just so you can see how this works to get to the landing page. Okay, don't call this number. Don't call this number. I'll see. I don't know, whatever. And okay. Let's see. All right. So then let's see if this works. Hopefully this works. Okay. So this is an example of a legit landing page, what I would consider in some cases. So you could have a landing page that looks like a web page. It can be what they call a single page website, but this is designed to a specific behavior. So the behavior that this is designed to elicit is that I want someone to say, yes, I want to learn more. And if they want to learn more about the problem I solved, they're going to give me a little bit of information, and I'm going to send them to a presentation where they can get additional information, right? So there's many applications that you can use for this format. But again, it's your same URL that people would use to access you, that maybe perhaps could go to a website. You could go to a website, or you could just go bam and address their problem. So in this case, my target audience is entrepreneurs who are seeking to reduce the time that they spend on marketing so they can get back to business. So here is like wondering how you get it all done is to say, I know that's something I said to myself as an entrepreneur. So this is something someone may say, and then I just address kind of the problem, and then I tell them how I can help, and how I can help is I can learn, help you learn how to manage all of your stuff in one place, and if you like it, then you'll fill out the information, click submit. So to learn more, so this is an example of what you might do as a landing page. And sorry for being, I'm not trying to be self-promoting, and this was just a quick example for the short time that we have, but you could do anything with this. So you can have your logo. You can make it more look like you can make it look more like your website. So for example, if we go back to my website, do I have a window open? Okay. So theoretically, you could have a single page website, and information is just kind of scrolling on the page instead of all of the additional details. So here you can have a single page, okay, and it can have all of your information on it, everything, the things that you offer, your address information, copyright information, all that can be on a single page. Or you could do a landing page. Perhaps it's just your products. Like say you're just starting out and you have a visual product. You could do a landing page, and all that's on that page is your products, right? So in this case, I could have this just be a landing page. And I could say, when you go to getcrystallizedAgency.com, and that's all they would see. It's whatever you want it to be. It's whatever behavior you want people to do in the immediate in your business. That's what you can put on your landing page. So I hope this is helpful for you. I know that for me, I get a lot of questions about landing page versus website. And I guess the best explanation that I can give you is the one that I shared, in that a website is multiple pages, and there can be several behaviors that take place on the website. And then a landing page is a single page that drives a specific behavior, such as sign up for my newsletter, buy my product, whatever it is. It's driving them to, sign up for my newsletter. It's driving them to a specific behavior. Now, both a landing page and a website can benefit from SEO optimization, search engine optimization, right? They both can benefit. And so I'll do, maybe next Saturday we'll talk about, or Sunday we'll talk about search engine optimization. But basically what that is it's optimizing your website and your content so that when people search for it on Google, it shows up higher in the ranking, right? And so whether you have a landing page or you have a full-blown website, the key you need to be able to index both of those for SEO. And there's a whole discipline around SEO. That is not my thing. I don't really recommend getting too absorbed in it as a new entrepreneur. But there are some simple things that you can do even without a web developer or SEO expert, to have your information rank up higher in the website than it is currently, right? So what I'll do is maybe next Sunday we'll talk about a little bit about SEO optimization and what can the average person who is not an SEO expert do to help their website to rank and show up in search results. So I hope this was helpful for you. And if you have any questions whatsoever around website versus CRM, then definitely reach out to me. I'm happy to help. And if you're looking for help with that, to set up a website or landing page, I can assist with that too, and send you some more information if you have specific questions. Or definitely can go to my website at www.getcrystallizedagency.com and schedule a consultation. So with that, I'm going to wrap up this episode of Social Media Sunday, website versus landing page. I hope it was helpful for you. Make sure to share, comment, and turn on notifications so you do not miss an episode of Social Media Saturday with Crystal Cotton, Get Crystallized Agency. Have an amazing week, and I'll Talk to you next time. Bye for now.